Hey friends, today I'm sharing a really simple watercolor demo. I'll be painting this Wildflower Meadow scene. I'm keeping it super simple today with this small watercolor palette. I've got a mix of Winsor & Newton and Van Gogh watercolors. For this piece I'll mostly use lemon yellow, medium yellow, some medium red, quinacridone rose or magenta, ultramarine blue, and a little bit of sap green. For my loose watercolor sketches, I like to use these Princeton Neptune round brushes. At the end, I'll also add few details with some colored pencils. I'll be using these Derwent Inktense, but honestly, any color pencils will do. And here is my reference photo. I took it in Hatchlands Park last summer. I'm starting at the top with a very light wash of ultramarine blue for the sky, and I'm leaving some white gaps to keep it airy and fresh. Next, I'm mixing a dark green using lemon yellow, ultramarine and a little bit of sap green for those background trees. Instead of painting individual trees, I am just painting an irregular shape of trees grouped together. I'm adding a little bit of ultramarine blue to my green to create some shadow areas and to add some variations to my trees. It's time to paint the meadow. My tip for today is to start with the flowers, to keep the colors clean and vibrant. You don't need to be very precise, we are painting little dots and blobs. It's just the impression of flowers rather than detailed flower sketches. If you're enjoying this so far, please give this video a like. It really means a lot and it helps me keep creating these free tutorials for you. I'll make these flowers in the foreground a little bit larger than the ones in the background, just to suggest some perspective and depth. Things that are closer to us are normally seen as larger and a little bit more detailed. So I'm adding a few drops of more concentrated pigment to the middle of the flowers. It's time for a little bit of purple, so I added ultramarine blue to my magenta color and I created this vibrant purple for my cornflowers. As you can see, I keep painting very loosely, not worrying about the details, just making sure that the blobs in the background are a little bit smaller than the ones I painted in the foreground. I'm also trying to remember to add few flowers at the top. It's time to add some background, so I'm mixing a very fresh green background color with lemon yellow with a touch of ultramarine, and I loosely paint around the flowers, softening this hard edge at the bottom of the trees first. Don't worry about leaving a little bit of white spaces around the flowers, they add to this loose sketchbook feel. I'm trying to make the background color look more interesting by varying the hue slightly. I mix a little bit of sap green, a little bit more yellow, sometimes a touch of ultramarine blue, just to keep these greens a little bit more varied. I am now mixing a darker, deeper and cooler green by using quite a lot of ultramarine blue and later even that purple, just to add some shadows and maybe some suggestions of leaves and grasses that are closest to us. Now that the base is done, I'll add few details with my colored pencils. I'll start with some few wispy tall grasses in the foreground. If your paint is still wet and your pencils aren't water soluble like mine, just wait a little bit before this step. I selected few colors in hues similar to the ones I used when painting with watercolors, just to define the flower shapes a little bit more and add a little bit of texture. I decided to add a little bit of definition and detail to the flowers in the front, again just to add that sense of perspective and the fact that these flowers are a lot closer to us than the ones in the background. It's time to add few of those wispy tall grasses and grass heads and maybe seed pods that are visible in my reference photo. I grabbed the darkest green hue I could find in my set, and I'm just loosely adding these sketchy lines to suggest the stems and grasses and perhaps even some loose leaf shapes, especially in the foreground. To add more contrast, I decided to mix even darker green and add a little bit of shadow to the trees in the background and few of the leaves in the foreground. And that's it, a really simple, calming way to capture Wildflower Meadow in your sketchbook. I hope this inspired you to paint something similar, and I would love to see what you create. Drop any questions in the comments below. I always enjoy chatting with you there. Don't forget to subscribe if you like more relaxing nature tutorials. Happy painting, and I'll see you in the next one.